Did you know that in 1989, John Carpenter recorded an interview with Showtime that dives deep into the background, inspiration, and inner workings of the film They Live? This interview with Carpenter has been lost to time, and here it is for you in its entirety, where you'll get a chance to truly learn from one of the true masters of horror in John Carpenter. Enjoy, nerds.
Movies are like dreams. I think movies are images that are shown on a rectangular screen in the dark. I think that it can be a shared experience with other people. I think that it can be a experience that can make you laugh, cry, scream in fear or whatever, but the cutting patterns and the visualizations of movies, and even the shutter rate that goes through the parts of the screen that go black that you can't see, basically tune you into the way the human mind thinks. And movies invite you to project your emotions on the screen. They want you to identify with one character or another. The cliched example would be the beautiful young teenager that walks into the room and you know that the terrible, awful boogeyman with a giant knife is waiting in there, and you say, oh, don't go in that room. Go outside and run and get the police. You're identifying with one of the characters.
John Carpenter first engaged our emotions in movies such as The Fog and Halloween.
Halloween was a really interesting experience for me. It was a time in my career when I needed a job, and the producer of the movie came up to me and said, listen, how would you like to make a movie about a bunch of babysitters that get murdered by this crazy guy? And since I needed a job, I said, well, okay, fine. And he suggested we call it Halloween. So basically, in the making of the film, I went about to remake an American myth. I think that if anything's happened to us, our myths are fading away. We have none anymore. We're looking for myths. Myths are important. Fairy tales are important. Things that stir us in a primal way. And I wanted to make basically the incarnation of evil, if you want to call it, ultimate evil. And I created this masked shape that lurked around, that could be anywhere at any time. Basically then proceeded to fill the movie with a lot of suspense and shocks. There's a couple of different ways of doing that. Suspense involves letting the audience know that something is going to happen and then stalling off the time that it happens so they begin to get anxious. It's like anxiety. Oh, I know he's going to jump out and scare me, but when is it going to happen? The other way is shock, which is that all of a sudden something pops out of the screen and you goose the soundtrack with a big sound, everybody jumps up and down for about 10 seconds. So utilizing these two techniques, I think, and lots of dark and shadow, and again, the primary myth of the unkillable evil, went about making it a film that had the appearance of a myth, the appearance of an American myth, American Gothic, I suppose.
You're serious about it, aren't you?
Yeah.
You mean you actually never want him to get out?
Never.
Then why are we taking him up to Hardin County if you're just going to walk?
Because that is the law. Here we are.
Since when did they let them wander around?
Pull up to the main gate.
Shouldn't we
Go on, move. Stop here.
Shouldn't we go on up to the hospital and...
Wait. You're all right?
Yes, I'm okay.
He's gone. He's gone from here. The evil is gone.
While Carpenter's movies seem futuristic, he actually bases them in traditional movie genres.
Well, I always give my main creative inspiration to Howard Hawks. I grew up with a lot of his films. I remember seeing Rio Bravo several times when it was out in the theater. And then I studied him in film school, and I studied his old movies and his silent films. He made 40 films through his career. I suppose in terms of visual style, in a certain amount in terms of drama, and in terms of male-female relationships, his sense of professionalism, his sense of strong, tough women, often his sense of timing has really influenced my style. I haven't had a chance to make many Westerns, but I'll let you in on a secret that most of my films really are Westerns. They just don't seem like it.
But when Carpenter scares us in Prince of Darkness, Christine, and The Thing, he's paying tribute to the master of suspense.
I suppose he's been the main influence. All of us who've worked in any kind of suspense or fantasy have been influenced by Alfred Hitchcock. He's not only known for his dark humor, but I think it's his use of montage and fast cutting to arouse the audience and put them in suspense has been amazingly influential. Louis Buñuel, Roman Polanski, and John Ford have all influenced me, maybe to lesser extents, but all these directors, and all great directors, I feel, have in common a way of looking at the world that separates them, say, from most others. And oftentimes what they do is unconscious. It's not, well, I'm going to do this particular scene this way. It's just something that comes out. And after a while, as you look at their films, you begin to see a through line that goes in their work.
The through line in Carpenter's work appeared early.
It started as a student project, and it evolved into a feature over a period of 4 years. It cost $60,000. It was a science fiction comedy called Dark Star. Basically, I look at it as kind of Waiting for Godot in space. It was an absurdist kind of point of view, and very, very difficult to make because it was all handmade sets. We had to take existing materials and make them look like spacesuits and spaceships, and etc. I worked with Dan O'Bannon, who went on to fame and fortune as a writer in the movie business. He wrote Alien. And it was a labor of love in the sense that we used amateur actors and eventually got some investors interested, and they put up some money. And I'm proud of the work in some ways because it really was made for under $100,000. But it shows, it's still basically a kind of a student film, and you can see its 16mm origins if you look at it. I have nothing but good things to say about my experiences at USC. I was there at a particular time in this country in terms of people wanting to be filmmakers, where there was a lot of excitement. All of a sudden, this wasn't a craft anymore. This was an art form. And I came to USC in 1968, the year after George Lucas had left. And the entire program was geared toward making films that were meaningful and looking at the director as an artist. And I suppose that the school was being influenced by the French auteur theory. But while I was there, John Ford, Alfred Hitchcock, Orson Welles, Howard Hawks, Roman Polanski all came down and showed their films and spoke to us. And I don't think you could be in a better place to experience the giants of American cinema all around you at the same time. Plus the fact we had, when I was there, an excellent technical training program where you learned everything from the camera to sound recording, to editing, to lighting, sound mixing. You had to do it all yourself. And by the time I left USC, I was was technically prepared for the movie business. I even did my own scores there, and this is where I began doing music for movies, because we just didn't have any money. We had to make the best we could of it. And basically, the approaches that I learned at USC, I'm still utilizing now making films.
Carpenter's latest film represents a change. Evil is hidden.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I keep, from my point of view, I keep reworking the same basic themes over and over again. They're very, very basic, but I have a sense of people being trapped in the world one way or the other, either by circumstances or by environment or by themselves. And I definitely have an idea of often a literal evil, an evil that's out there, that's coming to get us. I realize that's kind of a Republican right-wing idea, but actually in my latest film, They Live, the evil is they are Republicans, and they are coming to get us. They Live is about the Reagan Revolution being controlled by aliens from another galaxy, and they're dismantling the middle class and making the poor poorer and the rich richer. And it's told from the point of view of the homeless, where we see the world underneath the world. You put on a pair of sunglasses and all of a sudden the real world appears. It's in black and white, so these creatures have really colorized us like Ted Turner colorizes the classics. But in that sense, I kind of go back to what I picked up in movies when I was a kid, during the science fiction and horror films during the 50s, and westerns, and usually there's some bad guys and good guys, and I tend to work out themes of my heroes not just being trapped, but also being underappreciated, blue-collar people of the streets, as opposed to, say, yuppies.
Well, boys, as far as we go.
Multi-spectral analysis. This would allow space sensors to penetrate natural barriers and camouflage.
Can you get us inside? Never seen the inside of a TV studio before. You look like the gentleman to ask.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be that much problem. You see them boys over there? Friends of mine. Hey, fellas, I got a couple of my buddies here. I thought I'd give them the grand tour. Think we can go inside?
Be serious. You have your authorization cards.
Right here. Watch the door. Soundproof. Where's that signal?
It's up on the roof, I think.
Holly works in there. If she made it, maybe we can find her. Then we can go to the roof and break that signal.
Wait, boys, wait. You're making a big mistake.
You made the mistake.
No, you gotta listen to me. I thought you boys understood. It's business. That's all it is. You still don't get it, do you, boys? There ain't no countries anymore. No more good guys. They're running the whole show. What's wrong with having it good for a change? Now, they're gonna let us have it good if we just help them. They're gonna leave us alone. Let us make some money. You can have a little taste of that good life, too. Now, I know you want it. Hell, everybody does.
You do it to your own kind.
What's the threat? We all sell out every day. Might as well be on the winning team. See you, boys.
It's also a film about values, because I feel that if there's anything in America right at this moment that is perhaps a giant burning issue, is that when I feel we've lost our way. And this movie is perhaps my way of saying maybe we should try and come back. I suppose if I talked about my work in movies, I would say that what I am proudest of is my body of work taken as a whole. I feel that just that I'm pretty aware of my strengths and weaknesses. I know I've made a lot of really bad movies, and I've made some pretty good ones. And I think that at the end, I would like somebody to say, yeah, he was a movie director.
Horror.